Thank you for joining us on Matters Arising. Philip, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Kingsley, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hope you're doing good.
Yes.
Right.
It looks like he's not doing good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because you look.
Let us start talking
Oh,
first.
you are going to be there. Maybe you are the one in charge of reviewing Tinubu's ministerial performance.
I think that is what is occupying his mind.
You
I
know,
will never turn back. Oh.
there is this news making rounds that by just on or before May 29, that he's going to review their performance. I'm beginning to wonder, is he going to get what's going to be the metrics of review? Is he going to still appoint, just like what INEC did in an attempt to update some of their operating measures? They were also the one that did it themselves. They didn't take recourse to voters' input.
Yes.
The review that's going to come from,
That's the one INEC did.
yes. The review that's going to come from ministerial performance, is Tinubu going to conduct like research and get input from Nigerian people, at different stratas of spheres of life and walks of life, maybe working class, government officials, those who do working private business people, the youth that's just graduating from school. And ask them. Try to get a pool of knowledge. Do you think they are going to do something unusual from their self-assessment?
No. They've already concluded most of the reviews.
Okay.
The reviews, there's an agency.
Okay.
I think CDSS, something like that.
Okay.
The acronym.
CDC.
Okay.
CDCU.
Okay, CDCU.
Yeah,
that's the acronym.
Okay.
And now it's headed by Aisha Osman Bala Mohammed.
All right.
She was the former MD of MPA, that's Nigerian Port Authority. She had issues with Amechi the last time, and she was removed. Now she's been one saddled with the responsibility to look at how ministers perform. And the first time ministers were changed, she was the one that recommended those that should be dropped, those that should be reassigned, and all that. She was actually assigned to that position in June 2023. Now, we don't know their criteria. Personally, I've gone into her handle and asked her, why don't you tell her the criteria? Yeah. Funny enough, we were at school at the same time in Ahmadu Bello University. Okay. Why don't you tell us the criteria to which is used to assess the performance of every minister? Because we don't know the criteria, and still now we don't still know the criteria. But though they said at this particular time, it's not going to be used to change, or they're not going to change ministers at this moment, but it's just going to look how they performed over time. And from the one we are getting,
maybe to redirect them.
Exactly, average, they won't perform average, except for a few ministers, they said.
All right. I was just trying to evoke this to the knowledge of our viewers. Isn't it kind of important to get the temperature of the people in evaluation of this is like mid-tenure evaluation, so that like I've always said, the balanced part of the tenure can be, miracle can happen. A lot of things can go right, particularly when they are beginning to achieve stability. The stability means that people are getting used to what is happening, not necessarily that the economic space is really very kind of fertile for business to grow. Isn't it important that their metrics, whatever measures they are using, that they involve people outside government, people who are not on the pay list of government, to get input on how these people are working?
The fact remains that the importance of involving the masses cannot be overemphasized, because it is the masses that will give the scorecard, not somebody employed to do such my job. In fact, we all know what happened in governance. If you know that this man is the person that is assessing me, all you need to do is to
talk to the person,
play to the person's gallery, and whatever it is you need to do for you to curry the person's favor is what you will do. I think if the government is serious with the term assessment and to self-review so that they can perform well, I think the proper thing to do is to conduct a survey within the society to see what is the feeler from the people? Are the people feeling satisfied? Are they feeling you? Are they seeing you? Are they giving you credit for your job well done, or they are saying that you have performed below average, or you haven't done anything at all? I think sincerely that the method of assessment for here, I think it's just lip service. If they really want to do assessment, they should go to the people, and they want to give the true assessment of what of the performance of the ministers and the government officials. That is my opinion.
Okay. We're in data and in media age. Yeah. Most of these things can be done online. Do you understand? And create a criteria. People can go vote or assess. Do you understand? From there, you put it on a poll, and the poll will now show who is doing well, who is not doing well. Do you understand? It's not just by the report they write. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah, that's what I'm beginning to look at. At the end of the day, when they write this report, before you know, it begins to be a point of reference. You know, people begin to forget about who made the report. They would not tell you that based on research that was carried out or evaluation that was carried out at so time, look at the direction. And during campaign season, they begin to form sources of reference. You understand? So, and when you begin to see things like that, you wonder, is the government out, or do they enjoy sycophancy more, or really proper evaluation from the people they are elected to serve?
Well, the way we've seen things in our politics is that people enjoy, or the government enjoys sycophancy. That's what it shows. I don't know if you understand. That's what it shows. That's what we have seen. Now, the lady herself has also gone to several ministries or parastatals to visit. Do you understand? Now, if you are coming to visit me and I'm monitoring you, I'm going to be at my best. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I'm going to definitely be at my best. And so me submitting report to you is going to be my best report. But if it's reports that I'm assessing you and you don't know, based on your performance, your spendings, you know, and all the projects you've done, you will not know that I'm assessing you. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah, because I'm worried about what he has just said. If that remains the only thing the assessor is doing, visiting the agencies, checking their records, I mean, they are not there to keep proper record as the end product of what they are doing. Yes. Keeping proper record and whatever is just a means to an end. The end remains what the people talk about their services. Are you not worried that rather than just probably going to the agencies, which is fine as being part of the job, they must get to whichever circle of population or circle of cities that agency specifically serve to find out what they have done?
I'm very, very worried. You know, like I said before, if you want to carry out a true assessment and evaluation in a political environment like ours, it is the people that hire you that's supposed to evaluate your work, if you are serious with the terms evaluation and review. But like I said, if somebody is being paid to assess me, and I know this person is to assess, we have had the word of when records are doctored. What the man, you just come into my ministry and my office that they want to see record, we prepare record and give to him. That is not true evaluation or assessment. The true evaluation, like he said, this is the era of digital and data and all of that. You know, like when they did the Big Brother show and all of that, people vote online to say this is what we want. You can ask questions, you can create that platform that people should say what this minister had done on a social area. This project has been awarded. What is your thought about this project? And you will get the true result.
And some of them might also not be completely done through the internet. For example, some of this evaluation, one of the number one thing Asiwaju is going to evaluate his government on is insecurity.
Yes.
Places like Borno State, where Zulum, the governor, is saying, oh, they need more than the kinetic means, to get this thing completely solved. Do you think this assessor, let me start from you, Kingsley. Do you think this assessor will be on ground, whatever, their safe arrival of at the location is one indication of assessment. So they can
to show that
they can visit all these areas, yes, where that Zulum has talked about, and see how those places are doing, and people will be able to know that in terms of security, in terms of insecurity, Asiwaju government has improved in this location. Do you think they are going to do something like that?
On just the lighter side, I remember listening to Amechi during the former Jigawa State Governor's book launch.
Oh, okay.
The way he spoke, he said, I was afraid. I didn't want to go to Jigawa. I was afraid.
As a serving minister at that time?
No, as a governor.
All right.
He was a governor. He said, I was so afraid. In my mind, I said, if a leader that is supposed to be in the front, fighting things, talking about being afraid now, he should also think about what the population or the
ordinary man
are facing. Now, having said that, I can bet you that none of them is going to go that far to try and assess what maybe like either Ministry of Defense or the military, is doing, or the national security apparatus, whatever they are doing. No. That's why we say that most of these things, you have a lot of people there. You have a lot of CSOs that can say, we know what is happening.
Because, for example, when you visit the agency, like you have said, you can get, for example, that arms were supplied to the people in the field, the soldiers in the field, from the officers, in the office. You can get that they are feeding and the accommodation, everything was provided. But when you visit the place, talk to people like Zulum, who has been crying out. That's not the only place you have serious insecurity, but we're just using that because he has been crying out. Visit the places and talk to the soldiers on ground. You should be able to get to know if the records in the office is also true that the food is sent to the soldiers, got to the soldiers. Because how do you evaluate a food? Maybe I say, food was sent to the soldiers. You're not going to have the stock remain in my office, only record, but until you talk to the soldiers on ground. So don't you think the people, now they have come to tell us that they are doing evaluation, that the people have the right, to tell the president, open letter, maybe call it civil, any civil method, it doesn't have to be a violent protest or whatever, that we need the metrics of this evaluation. We need to see it. We need people to talk to us. Wherever we are, we need people to talk to us so that we can tell the president. It's not sufficient to wait for re-election. When people say, if the president doesn't do well, you vote him out. You lost 4 years. That's a wrong way of evaluating anybody. You are not going to wait to lose 4 years before you remove anybody. Oftentimes, you are not even able to remove the person. So, can't people demand that we are not midway? Let the president hear us. Let us tell him how far he has failed. He has failed.
In fact, you are going a long way. The president on his own has said he wants to reevaluate himself via his ministers and appointee. So if the president is serious with his word, he should allow the people to evaluate his minister and his appointee, like rightly said. For instance, in Brunei, which is on spotlight at the moment, there is a lot of insecurity. Now you want to evaluate the Minister of Defense and the performance of the minister that you are appointed to oversee the affairs of the Defense Ministry. You don't have to go to the ministry office in Abuja here and get records and come back. You need to go to the flashpoint. You go to Zamfara, you go to Brunei, and you speak to this foot soldier that are on ground fighting, because the things you are going to evaluate is that the welfare of the men on ground, if they are well taken care of so that they can do the job they are hired to do. How do you get that feedback without speaking to the men on ground? And you need to visit the governor, Zulu, who is crying every day that, look, this is the problem. You go to Zulu, why is it that the military have not done? What do you think we should do to improve? Or what is the problem? You need to speak with you so that you have this detail.
Yes, particularly when Zulum raised a very serious accusation. We are going to talk about his idea of non-kinetic measure. He said it has yielded 99.9% success. In that 99.9% of those that repented and got rehabilitated never went back. That's a high success rate. How come? If we have that high success rate, how come your place is still being bombarded every day? That's one. Two, so you take them at once. He said we have sellouts. Let me use that word. Sellout among the politicians. That who have sellout among the armed forces. That's a very grave accusation. How do you marry all this with somebody who believes that 99.9% of repentant ones are still doing well in the society?
What was its level that he used, or the yardstick that he used in assessing that they didn't go back?
I think he mentioned about, there was a figure he gave that about, that's why he put
No, what I'm saying is that
the basis of doing well. No, he said they never went back to insurgency
how
again.
Does he know? Has he employed?
Well, he's the governor.
That's what I'm saying. Has he employed them? Are they in his side?
He's the governor. He won't just come out.
He's the governor. It don't mean that your governor means you know everything. That's the truth. I'm not saying he's telling lies or what he's saying is not true. But you see, most of the time, most of these statements that hang in the air should be made to land
and be investigated.
Exactly. Call an agency. There are a lot of CSOs, a lot of humanitarian bodies that work in.
And when someone comes out to say that there is a sellout among politicians. Okay, there is a sellout among armed forces men. No name given, nobody given. What does he know that he's not telling us? Okay, so who is the politician?
That's why I'm saying that most of those statements are always have hung in the air for a long time. These politicians, soldiers, that they've always said that have infiltrated most of this agency, and this it has been there, but they have never been named. And that's one of the things. The day they name one person, for example, you and I was talking about the Zamfara State police commissioner. I was saying they apprehended
a State House of Assembly member. We don't know the name.
What's his name? What's his name? So are they trying to hide the identity of these people? So they should tell us their names. The soldiers, whether they are generals, whether they are whatever class of soldiering they are in, they should let us know.
Okay, do you think there is a missed message in what Zulum is churning out?
Absolutely.
Because you say you have 99.9% of those who repented being integrated in the society and doing well. That's about 100%.
Yes.
So how come you are facing serious insurgency and calling for help?
The margin of error is...
that's almost perfect.
That's why I say absolutely there's feeling about what Zulu is saying. Zulu cannot, as it were, by his utterances, it cannot be taken serious. Because if you said those who repented from being insurgents, they are not doing well, so that means the society is safeguarded. Yeah. So if 99% of those who repented are doing well, what are the numbers of people who had not repented? That is 1%, less than 1%. So is it that 1% that is troubling?
Or the new people? Or the new people from where? New recruits from
that is one. Another question is that you said they are sabotaged. They are in the army. They are in the political.
I mean, accusing army just like that without any valid.
Who are they? Where do they
exactly?
Because we also learned that some of the repentants, you recruited them into the army and all of that. So where do they?
There was unconfirmed video circulation we saw the other day because it was unverified. Where they said there's somebody that was recruited was trying to, but I saw that the video is
it's not clear.
It's not clear. Yes.
So the thing is, how can you say that you have 99% people who have repented from committing crime, and you see the rate of crime in your place is skyrocketing? I think even though we are blaming the federal government, sometimes these governors, they just cry foul, because if you are so sure...
Or just trying to credit, people were trying to discredit his forgiveness and a reintegration and a repentance message of the Boko Haram. He's trying to give credence to that program.
Yeah, so the question is, so what about the politicians you accuse, the soldiers you accuse?
Yes.
Who are they?
Damaging the image of army.
Yes, for you to come out to make that pronouncement, you must have your facts.
That's right.
So what is holding you back from saying that these are the persons within the army or the political class that are causing the mayhem in so that they can be dealt with in that order?
Let's look at it in another way too.
Yeah.
The first time it came out recently, he said that there's a resurgence of insurgency that it should be dealt with. The army came out and said he's just shouting. But after 2, 3, 4 weeks, we saw a full-blown, more sophisticated
which look like fresh people, different from...
Yes. So let's not blanket him that he doesn't know.
No, certainly.
Do you understand?
That's not what we're saying.
That's not
what we're saying here is that
I know
those people that you claim to have repented, how repented are they?
Yes,
what makes you think are not the people who went back and prepared, for a greater offensive against you?
Now you are accusing politicians.
One of my friends as a military told me that most of these people that they said they've integrated back into the society, most of the time what they come to do is that they come to gather information. To spy.
So that his program, he was basically trying to give credence.
They have faulted his program.
To that repentance program.
So it's
and that's what he's trying to defend by saying that.
Exactly. And now in a blanket form, he's accusing politicians for sabotage and sellouts.
Yes.
But that one has always been there.
Who are they?
Even the federal government have said they've always
been there. Who are they?
They've never met. That's what I'm saying.
Where are they being tried?
That's why we are also looking at the sincerity of these politicians. I don't know if you are all.
Yeah, okay, let's move. I just hope, like we started from the evaluation, Asiwaju that is self-evaluating himself, or every square feet of Nigeria is under Asiwaju.
Yes.
He's going to evaluate all these things at the end of the day. So there is this senator, very prominent young senator. Senator Umahi.
Yes.
He had a fracas with Ex-Ebonyi.
The fracas was the one that insulted Obi.
Well, just whatever it was. That also cannot be.
They should be respecting him.
Yes.
The Senate of the Federal
Republic of Nigeria. So, but we don't want to get into that.
State.
Yeah, we didn't want to get into that. What is calling our attention was he was talking about a descent to Abuja Airport, that I should descend to Abuja Airport while flying, maybe arriving from any of your destination to any of your location to Abuja as a destination or transit, that what you see, what your eye beholds, does not befit a nation like Nigeria, that it does not befit Abuja, that those people there should be relocated, that what the city minister is doing in Abuja should be extended in the next budget. That it should actually be captured in the next budget to make Abuja's environment, Abuja's airport environment, to look befitting. And at the end of the day, he tried to see if he can sponsor a resolution, a bill in that regard, and it was taken down by the Senate President. The Senate President said, even in my home state in Akwa Ibom, as you are descending into our airport, you see creeks and rivers and old things like that. You can't reroute these rivers and that. So, but do you think there is sense in what Ex-Ebonyi is doing, or it was trying to arrive at, or Akpabio remains right? Or there is a middle ground?
Well, there is a middle ground. Development is an ongoing process.
Right.
Most of those villages that he's talking about, the airport made them there, and they have their own rights as well. And what we have always done in Nigeria is that most of the time we don't relocate very well. Do you understand? Now there's a place called Tungamaji. It's a big village. Tungamaji, Zuba. They extend a little bit into Suleja, towards Suleja, towards that rock. I know they built some, what's it called there, some tourist attractive places there. Then on this other side, you get Kubwa and all those. It's quite large. Then you now get to the airport itself. Do you understand? And all that space. Now, there's no way you can relocate them completely. What you need to do is that they've moved a lot of military formations to that area. They move formations like Nigerian Civil Defense Corps. They move formations like immigration. They move formations like Air Force. In fact, the army too have their own barracks there and all that. The development will continue naturally, and that's what it is.
Okay, Philip, let me have your take on that.
For me, you see, every segment of society in the world had their heritage. The villages that bounded the airport showcase our Africa heritage. So I don't know where the senator is coming from, what he meant to say that they should be captured and be relocated in the next budget. Where is he saying that they should be relocated to? And is it that we are not proud of Africa to showcase our culture, the houses our forefathers lived? I mean, if you go to England and some other,
exactly, I was to
see
say that.
Building of 20.
I'm going to challenge.
I'm
going to challenge Senator Nweboye. Anytime he visits London again, let him go to where we have Tower Bridge. This bridge that opens like this. Yes. There is a route down there, by this end of the bridge. You turn down, do like you're descending to those places where you have this. What is this? The circus show. Going down beside the river, there is a particular building I saw that was built 12 something, either 1270 or 1270 something.
And it's still preserved.
They are still preserved there. So what is wrong in the next budget preserving our heritage?
Exactly.
Go and develop these villages around their culture.
So that when people come, so, oh, this is how Nigeria used to live.
That's right.
Or the people from this part of Nigeria, this is how they are building used to.
What they didn't even understand. What they didn't understand that those villages are not rejecting good roads.
Exactly.
No, they are not rejecting electricity. No. They are not rejecting pipe-borne water. There's nothing they are rejecting.
They are not rejecting hospital.
They are not rejecting hospital.
So what is the problem?
So that he can feed his eyes. So
I think the Senate president did a good job by answering him that, look, you are coming to my own state. What we have when you are descending is creeks and rivers, because we are from the Niger Delta. So are you saying because we have an airport there, we should relocate the rivers and the creek so that we can have a better view? Is that not a good view enough? I think it's misplaced priority. If it's lack of what to say, I think it's better quiet when it's in the city.
Okay, let me now knowing how politics works, Kingsley. Sometimes you see these politicians hold a very strong view on a matter like this. Yeah. In a twinkle of an eye, after a negotiation, you see the Senate approving relocation of these villages again. The ones they have done before, they didn't really do them well up to today. A lot of cases in court. Go to Koduma village and all that.
That one is far. JAMB village.
A lot of them still fighting it out and all that. Okay, would you be surprised if just even in this next budget, you see them talking about relocating?
They will call it corruption.
Yes.
It will be tantamount to, because you see, most of these things that they normally see, if we all come from all over Nigeria and come to Abuja, we didn't think Abuja was a fallow land.
No, there are indigenous people here.
There are indigenous people. The Gbagi people, we met them.
Yes.
We need to preserve them. And we need to, exactly. Now, if you are developing a place, what you need to do, like you said, you give them roads. Access road. You preserve their houses and give them access. And their villages were not that big.
These are just small villages.
There is a population around the airport that feeds the airport. Most of the workers that work at the airport, a lot of them live in those axes. Now, until you give it a good look, they are not going to. The cost of living in town and working at the airport is going to be too large for them. So where are you going to take them to? Or the federal government, are they going to, through Federal Housing Authority, are they going to build houses in those areas so that all those living, because there's a community that works at the airport.
Now, Ebonyi is so concerned about image. Yeah, we want Abuja to look fine as you are descending. But anybody, except for those who are transiting, anybody descending will eventually come into the city. Yeah. Okay, why is he not bothered about, there are too many access roads, there are too many attached villages in Abuja that their roads, Wike is making efforts this time, no doubt about that. But there are too many of them that they don't have good roads. Some, like the other day, I saw a flyer, I wanted to bring it here, this area, Cafe District, Life Camp. Life Camp is actually where the official residence of the FCT minister is. Just a stone throw. Like the road that leads to his house, the road is bordering another road that community are contributing money to repair. This is a road that links that Catholic church to Stella Maris School to FCT High Court. In the road that links to FCT High Court, residents are contributing money to do that. This didn't get attention of Nweboye. And the street that leads to FCT official residents actually intersects this road actually. It intersects this road. So it's not like if FCT minister didn't go through Julius Berger side, maybe decides to go this way, he will touch the road that is the community people are contributing money to maintain. They've been doing it before. They believe that now that Wike is around, that he is helping people. Or maybe, the face of Abuja, they said he's doing too well, that he should be attending that place. If you are taking anybody to court, the road that you ply on is being done by residents. Why is it that things like this do not attract the attention of the senator?
Well, as much as every senator has, what's it called, the right to speak on every national issue, and the one that's international as well when it concerns Nigeria, the first responsibility that every senator and House of Representatives have is the senatorial district to which they serve and the constituency to which they serve. I will advise one boy. His senatorial district needs attention. If we put a focus, a lens on the senatorial district, I think they need more attention
than Abuja environment.
People speak of things that they are not, they just want to get this national thing, you know, I can speak on this one. Let him go to his senatorial district and find out what they need most. I can tell you the senatorial district is in a deplorable state. I can tell you that. Yeah.
It's not playing politics.
Yeah,
it's right. It's that we are still in the Senate. Let's just clear a little bit. Senator Babio said something that they are actually not fighting the executive. That when you win election, when your people vote for you, they don't give you hand glove. I say go and fight the executive. Because if you fight the executive, who will work for Nigeria? That they are working together with the executive. That they are, and also that the idea many Nigerians have that this Senate is a rubber stamp Senate, that is not true. That they are not rubber stamp Senate. That there are cases where they take things back to the presidency. There are cases where the executive take their bill back and make some changes in order to align with the national interest. And he wanted to explain that this Nigerian first policy that Asiwaju is rolling out now, where we will begin to buy local things instead of foreign things, provided we can produce them here, that is going to help us save dollar. That buying a local vehicle is going to help us save dollar and all that. I'm beginning to ask. Bobby has been in government, he's an adult. He has been adult for many years. Asiwaju has been governor two terms, and he has been adult for many years, many decades, both of them. You know, are they just realizing that after spending 2 years in the office, are they just realizing, I want to have this question on twofold, are they just realizing that you can save dollar that you don't have by buying local things? And two, now that they're saying they want to go and do bill and all that, I do know clearly that bill is one of the best way to make anything a policy that will outlive you when you leave the office. I support that. I'm a supporter of bill. But there are certain things that you declare emergency on, executive authority is sufficient. Even the day Asiwaju arrived, you could have as well start buying local content just from that day why the bill is sent to National Assembly. Do they really need this bill? And are they going to use this bill to campaign by the time the bill comes out on the eve of election? Oh, now we have solved the problem of the bill. In the next dispensation, local things will start after we have spent so much in this dispensation. Where is the sincerity of not starting this local content on arrival?
You know, you've said it on this platform when Senator Ndodwoko campaigned for the creation of Anioma State. You said he knows how to play politics. He's just playing politics, knowing that the creation of Anioma State is not realizable. So what you see playing out in the Senate is politics. You've just said it all. Ahmed Tinubu came into office. The first day, he removed fuel subsidy and he started. There was no bill.
There was no bill.
Executive order.
Executive order. So what stopped? What has changed? That same method he uses to remove the subsidy, same method be used to say, look, from this day forward, no more foreign things that we can produce in this country.
Especially cars.
Especially cars. They bought cars for all these legislators.
Yes. So why, you know, I was discussing with a friend this afternoon. You know, the office of the deputy clerk of the National Assembly, the person that just gone in, they've obliged him with a Hilux, vehicle and 2 SUV, and he said the cost of the Hilux, the supply is 150 million, and the cost of the SUV, they are not less than 500 million. So when you put all the vehicles together for that office alone, it's close to $1 billion naira. And this was done in dollars. And we have Innosi cars and other
And we don't have dollars.
And we don't have dollars. You have to go and look for the source for dollar before you pay for this car. And we are here, the Senate is here telling us that, the Nigeria First policy that the president has rolled out, they are going to back it up with a bill before it can come into. This is the mid-term. So by the time they finish working on the bill back and forth, and it goes to the president for assent, the tenure has finished, maybe at the tail end. So that will be their campaign point that, look, we have done everything possible. We have put everything in place. From now on, made in Nigeria first. So our money will be safe. Who are you deceiving? It's all politics. Like you said about that creation of an Anioma state. This is the second time. What has it done about the creation of an Anioma state? We all know that for you to create a state under, democratic rule, it's not only the people that are involved, the entire country has to support it.
Yes.
And you are saying that you must create a state. Where are you going to create it from? It's the same thing. You know that you can easily say that Nigeria first is the way to go.
Immediately.
Why do you want to say that you want to go through the process of being? You don't need the bill. Are we not? Is there still subsidy today? Is there any bill?
Where is the bill?
Where is the bill that is backing the removal of subsidy?
I want to talk about, first of all, his sarcasm. His sarcasm is bad for Nigeria. Nobody elects you to go to the Senate to be fighting the president. What we have in our country is enshrined in our constitution. There is what we call the powers of check and balances. What we say, check the president. It's very simple. Everything should not come and go because the president said so.
No, but he said they are collaborated.
He said they are collaborated. There are areas.
But he should not be telling us that we were not elected to take off gloves and be fighting president. Nobody ever done that. So don't insult Nigeria.
Exactly. That's also what that's not. You are very right. That's not what Nigerians were expecting.
Exactly. Don't insult.
Nigerians were not expecting to be fighting the president.
Exactly. We are not expecting to fight. Are we barbarians?
He's the one that's misinterpreting what Nigerians expect of him.
That's why I told you. It's in his habit to always insult Nigerians. I'm telling you.
Yes.
Look at
we got his records. Like they don't know. They don't know. They don't know.
They don't know. Are we ignoramus?
When you said they are both adults, they are just getting to know. It's not.
I'm just wondering.
Exactly. Both of them have been governors for 8 years.
8 years.
If not a secondary school economic student knows very well that you are going to save dollar by buying any foreign goods that you can produce.
Let me talk on that one. The one that is saying that from henceforth we are going to. I remember very well when they came into the Senate, this particular Ninth Assembly they call it. Now when they came in here, people protested that they should buy made in Nigerian cars.
Yes.
I remember the spokesperson for the Senate came and said these things have already been done already. They said, why are we going to place order for Innocent to be making vehicles for us? I mean, they protested vehemently. Now, at the middle of the tenor, you are coming to now tell us when you could have told us, the same way you told us, like Philip said about the fuel subsidy. Fuel subsidy is gone. You said the same way every minister, every legislator, every judiciary will buy made in Nigerian cars. Do you understand? So most of these things are things that they could have said earlier. They should not always play politics with everything. If they are sincere and patriotic to the Nigeria of our dream,
Ababa says you should not expect them to be boxing the president. Umahi says P2B should join Southeast leaders to support Asiwaju. So we should collapse Nigeria.
Yes, into one party. And I said that was a joke.
How do you think that's going to work? That
you see, you won't blame Umahi. He's a politician. He's working for his master. The more people he's able to win into his camp, the better for his master. And P2B is a big fish. If he is able to convince P2B to join him as one of the Southeast leaders to support Tinubu for 2027, better for Tinubu.
So that Tinubu will run against who?
I don't agree.
So hold on. So that Tinubu will run against who?
I don't agree this policy of their politicians. They are first Nigerians before they are politicians. They are politicians, they first of all need to be patriotic. They are politicians doesn't mean that they should play with our rights or they should play with our senses. If we say they are politicians, it doesn't mean that they should keep on lying and we are looking at them. We are saying, oh, politicians, they all lie. Is that what we are saying? Being politicians means that they are Nigerians and they want to, like the Romans, they say, return the politics to the politicians so that they will know how to do it well. they should do it well and think about Nigeria.
So what do you want us to do to Umahi now? You want to arrest him? You want to arrest him?
Umahi is gone.
you see, the thing is this. Umahi is free to say what is in his mind.
Yes.
He has said what he needed to say to please his master. The other thing that is left is for Obi to take him serious, or to take it to be one of the clowns that is just being, laughable. Because Obi as a person is a man that has had his focus, to do what he wants to do. If Obi chooses to say, because Umahi has talked to me, I want to follow you, so be it. But I don't think Obi is that kind of person that because Umahi said it, he will yield to it. Like you rightly said, if Obi, Obi is the main opposition as it is today. If he chooses to join, Tinubu, then what we have left? So that is endorsement of.
We still have Atiku.
Well,
how well do you think Atiku will do against Tinubu, if for any reason something like this?
It's a jolly good ride. I mean, it just
because again the odd doesn't.
What do you mean by jolly good ride? That Atiku will win or Tinubu will win?
Tinubu will win him flat down. Atiku is out of the game.
The odd doesn't favor Atiku at this time.
He's out of the game.
Because it is the turn of the SAT, whether you like it or not, whether written or not written.
No, whether even as a matter of fact, in 2014, Atiku left PDP to APC because Jonathan was contesting. Yes. That it was the turn of the North. That was the only reason that made Atiku to leave.
So it's the turn of the South that I don't want to recognize that.
I think, Umahi is just cracking a joke. I don't want to take him serious. And he knows within himself that he's not saying something that is meaningful.
He cracks jokes a lot. You know that lady that was a reporter, that the lady was speaking English. You tell her,
Okay, but you can't completely rule Umahi's statement away about cracking of jokes or whatever. Governors are falling in place. There's a report that Enugu State's governor might be going to APC. As a matter of fact, very, very recently, governor of Akwa Ibom, Governor Eno, was all over defending Asiwaju, saying that Asiwaju's job is very tough, that Asiwaju is solving a problem he didn't create, that people should understand with Asiwaju, people should support Asiwaju. This is supposed to be an opposition governor who, in addition to National Assembly, it is the opposition structure that also holds the leading party to checks. But this is somebody now already president.
So Governor Eno of Akwa Ibom State, I agree with you to a large extent that
Tinubu didn't create the problem.
Tinubu was not the one that created the problem.
Yes.
That's a difficult task that is trying to, resolve the issues that he never created. But for him to now turn around to start praising him that Nigerians should support him to succeed is appalling, because it's coming from position, because as it is today, he still remains a PDP governor. I have not seen anywhere where he has decamped to APC. So I expected him to, as an opposition, to mind his statement and criticize with objectivity, but rather he's speaking like somebody who is on the same side with Tinubu. So when you check the Southerners governor, who especially those who are doing first tenure, you begin to wonder whether we still have opposition in that regard.
Tinubu not creating a problem, sir. Tinubu know that we had a problem.
That's what he campaigned to solve.
He said he was going to solve the
problem. As a matter of fact, people say he was too old. He said he doesn't need muscle to solve Nigerian problem. That he doesn't need to be able to run marathon to solve Nigerian problem.
Every state, every country, the president that was coming, in fact, most of the time they campaign on the fact that I will solve this problem. Am I correct?
Correct.
Now, if Tinubu knew that Nigeria had problem, he came here and said we'll solve it. So if we are demanding him to solve it, he should let us demand for him to solve it. And you see, that's the only way we know all the governors. You see, we have a terrible problem on our hands in governance. And until that is solved, we're not going to go in.
I'm going to go to you, Philip, on this. We have a Southern president. All the Southern governors, almost all, just almost all, that are not originally APC, are shaking and singing praise for Asiwaju, like you said. But I'm not seeing that kind of shaking and praise singing from Northern governors.
You see, that is one danger we have in this country. And I've said it on this platform before, that this country has never as divided as it is today under this administration. Whether people are seeing it from the way I'm seeing it or not, I don't know. But the question, the issue you raise now, it confirms this my assertion, that with all the noise that is happening in the South, there's no noise from the northern part. Everybody is quiet, doing their job, remain where they are. So that does not protect. It doesn't protect any good for the nation.
State governor has endorsed.
No, we are talking about. It's APC. That's an APC governor.
That's an APC governor.
Let's be 50.
That's what I'm saying.
So no, we're saying those who are not original APC.
You understand?
How many PDP governors do we have in the north?
We have Babachir, we have Taraba, and then we have MPP in Kano. We have PDP in Zamfara.
Platunko.
Plateau, we have PDP, yes.
But we already said that so many of these guys are coming into...
Yeah, but what we're saying, the kind of praise singings you are hearing from the north, on the south.
You said it one time that they are not a people like that. Because you asked the question, how many obstacle elections do we have?
Have any doubt?
So they are not in that that terrain, that euphoria, except the one that they're trying to make in caution.
So the truth remains that this country is in danger, because just because your brother is a president, you must support him, whether his ideology is right or wrong. No. We should be able to be patriotic to the country. It's one Nigeria. Whoever that governs us at that point in time, we should be able to assess him on his performance, whether he's doing well or he's not doing, irrespective of where he comes from, the religion he belongs to. But what is
on the zone he comes from.
But what is happening today in the South, it looks as if because the president is from the South, whatever he does is right, irrespective of party or
philosophy.
Whatever. I mean, it's not. I don't think
there was any.
It is good for the nation. I don't think it's a good omen for the nation.
There should be truth to Nigerians. Yes. All right. Asiwaju has a tough job, like Governor Eno said. Almost all Nigerians do have some tough jobs. Do you think Professor Ishaku, the registrar of a JAMB, has a tough job, such that what happened could happen, and people would call for his resignation, and some other persons will come and say no? They will clearly say no. You don't need to call for his resignation. He has a tough job.
Okay, so everybody, even Nigeria, have a tough life right now.
Not even a job. Not even a tough life.
Tough life. Very tough life.
I agree with you.
For people to eat, it's quite tough. Now, D never knew he had a tough job. He thought it was a jolly ride until this happened. Every appointment that has always come, everybody always think is a way of, retirement or something, get what you can get, until this happened. If he knew he had a tough job, this would never have happened. And most of the time, they are never prepared for the job.
Yeah.
And calling for his resignation.
They like autopilot job.
Exactly. I think calling for his resignation is the best. If he can resign, or he can be dropped, or he can be sacked. In fact, to me, at this point in time, the presidency should have weighed on it and tell him resign. Or resign him, or either resign him, or sack him, or whichever way. Now, what they normally do, which has been a very bad precedent in Nigeria, is the fact that when you are in a place, for example, okay, let me take an example. When we had the issue of Akpabio and Natasha, people from Akpabio constituency came, people from Natasha constituency came, and they clashed at the National Assembly. So the demand to go and raise an opposition, to help him fight that these groups are there. I don't know if you understand what they are there. So some of maybe the money he has, he was
because
okay. Let me draw your attention. This position Nigerians always hold. It's like appearing before the judge to defend yourself that you are a criminal. Instead of tell judge I'm guilty or not guilty, you tell judge that there are other criminals too. Then why are you trying? Why are you trying?
Am I the only
one? Those people are saying that there were glitches with INEC. Nobody called Prof. Mahmoud to resign. There are cases like that. That's in the banks and things like that. Glitches all over. Nobody asked them to resign. That's how come they're asking Prof. Ishak to resign.
You see, the thing is a funny thing. In a civilized society, which we tend to copy, once you know that under your watch things has gone wrong, the right thing to do is to step aside. I expected Oloyede, once he to own up that it was his fault that these glitches occur, because like he said, if he's prepared for the job, you know that it's a tough job. You need to be sure that everything are top gear before you go into the exam. once you fail, that means you can't handle the agency that you'll be given to manage. So the proper thing to do is to resign. There's no two-way about it. The people that are coming to say that INEC and all of that, like I said, they are paid. They are not being sincere to say they are not being patriotic to this nation. Because this is life of the future Nigerians that is being tampered with. We heard that a 19-year-old boy or girl committed suicide because of poor result. Because after he had prepared so very well, she had prepared so very well, and she trusts his or herself, only for her to come with that result. That life has been destroyed by the act of this prof. What that prof should be, in fact, it should be tried for incompetence. So for me, those people call that they shouldn't be resigned, like you said. If you go to a court because you are charged for a crime and you said you are not the only criminal, that will not save you.
It's not going to save you.
Go to jail. In fact, that's the most stupid excuse that anybody can ever
admit that you committed the crime.
That's right.
So if you commit a crime, you pay the price for the price.
If a country was a country that should be a country like Nigeria, someone like Mahmoud should not stay another day in the office. By self-integrity, and you say this agency could never go, I can't handle it anymore, so I'm going to resign.
As a matter of fact, it's a lot more shameful for Mahmoud, who in 2025 is still carrying paper, add with calculator to collect results. Alice Ishak was even doing the job digitally. It's shameful for Mahmoud, a professor, to be in 2025, add paper, fill this form.
There's something you normally
No.
If you withdraw money from your account now, you get a lot
immediately. You withdraw money from your account, all the database of your bank is updated.
So why can't we just upload through IRE from the polling booth?
Immediately.
Bang, bang, bang.
People, we need to look at Professor Mahmoud.
If you go to the website of World Population, you will see death rate updated immediately. Immediately. Prof. Mahmoud can't claim he's still in 1960. 1920. Which school did he go to?
Prof. Mahmoud should change immediately. There are certain things you can't do anymore.
Change his name, no problem anymore.
No, that's not presentable.
No, the prof is in question.
Yes.
Right now.
He should resign.
No, for the Mahmoud, right?
For the Mahmoud, professorship, how he got it. I mean, the person
because just like you said, being a politician shouldn't deny you of being a Nigerian.
Of course, that's true.
After being a politician, even though you're going to be a politician till that, you will remain a Nigerian.
First.
You're not going to stop being a Nigerian.
One day you stop being a politician because you can't move anymore.
You could start being a politician.
You won't be able to move anymore.
And even whatever position you occupy, you could resign from that.
Yes.
But not many people know that. Let's talk about this young guy that was killed by a stray bullet. SS3 student killed by a stray bullet. And they said he wasn't the target. It was somebody that committed a traffic offense that police were chasing. And the stray bullet touched the guy, and now he's gone. Traffic offense in itself is not even a crime. So I don't know where issues of gun comes out into traffic offense. I'm not very clear. We are hoping IG is going to investigate this and let's see how it goes. It's not enough to just call officer not to be trigger happy. How does gun come into, either chasing somebody or whatever for traffic offense?
Okay, I know you are widely traveled. Yeah. The same with Philip.
Yeah.
I'm sure in the cities of America, you've not seen a policeman carrying an AK-47 up and down on a daily basis. And I'm sure Philip too. If you go to London, the same thing.
London is a lot better. Even what I think Americans are notorious with police.
Exactly.
Simply because their citizens have guns. That of London sweet. Canada sweet.
You won't even see a policeman.
No, you are not going to even see it.
Do you understand?
They are
batting. They only hold the batting. But in Nigeria, there's no policeman you will see that will not carry an AK-47. And I normally tell people, that AK-47 you are seeing, it can kill 200 people at the same time. And that's what a policeman, I've seen a policeman drunk carrying an AK-47 and doing the gun like this to people. There are things we should stop. If a man beats traffic, there are traffic rules and orders that you can use, not to be
capture the plate number.
Do you understand?
Put the cost of beating the traffic into the data file of the vehicle.
The
anytime they want to renew the vehicle, you can pay.
Now, even if you shot the driver, was it the right thing to do?
No. Okay, let me allow Philip.
You see, I begin to wonder. I don't want to believe it's a traffic offense. I don't want to believe they are chasing traffic because, like both of you have already expressed, it has nothing to do with a policeman and a gun. I think we have traffic warden, and I have never seen any traffic warden with a gun.
Yeah.
So I don't want to, believe that the story that is before us is the entire truth that led to the death of the young man. Because if it were to be traffic offense and who was chasing the offender, because if it is traffic warden, where do they get? I have not seen any traffic in Nigeria. I have not seen a traffic warden with a gun. So I think we don't have the details of this matter the way it is, but that's what they reported in the paper.
Yeah.
So I think there's something beyond what is before us. So what we know, because the traffic offense, like rightly put, is a minor offense.
It's not a criminal.
But recently, I've seen FRSC, a guy beats traffic. They pursued him
to the extent of
they removed his bomb,
driving recklessly.
Yes.
that themselves will
putting other people's life
in danger.
The point I'm making, where does the gun come from?
As a matter of fact, you see FRC officers.
They'll
go to a place where the road is curved,
yes,
and they will park there.
Yes.
Road safety officer that knows that a curve, a hilly place where you don't have sufficient sight distance, should be free from any obstruction. And then a road safety officer will park there, and you think their head is working.
If the road safety officer had a gun, they would have used it.
Yes, the way they walk, like they are hiding. You should be in a place where there is sufficient. There's what we call sight distance, even in the road design.
At a point, they were asking for gun. The question you ask yourself, what is road safety doing in the city of Abuja? The road safety, they say federal.
They will hide under one bridge.
You see, with so many things we do in this country, I don't understand why we're doing
they are using the word federal in, how do I call it, a literally meaning way.
Yes.
The intention of road safety as at when they were brought was to prevent accidents on highways
and education,
not in the street.
Of Abuja.
Because Abuja is FCT, the roads are owned by federal government. Doesn't mean they should be in the street.
The roads are not federal highways.
Wait, they are not federal highways. These are not highways in the first place. They were established. Maybe one day somebody's going to think of taking them to court.
And again, they have told us Abuja is a state, so maybe they should leave the
by judgment of Supreme Court on the election, right? This is something we have to look after. Yes, it's all right. Let's see if we can touch this one briefly before we go. Though Emefiele is still in detention, so we haven't heard anything from him publicly. 753 units housing that was seized are now being prepared for sale. Let's just assume all the stories around it are true in some form. What does one man need 753 units of housing for? You are not a businessman. You don't have any corporation. You are a civil servant. How do you get such money? This our system. What is wrong? Let's forget about the fact of whether they will reloot this 753 houses.
In fact, that's what I wanted to come to. You are not saying that we should forget that fact.
You have said it before that we are living in a society that is not normal. That every society where the politician and the civil servant
are richer than businessmen
is not a normal society. Agreed, an individual can own an estate if it's a businessman. But for the fact that the person in question is a civil servant. In fact, it was the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, the man that is in charge of in custody of our money, had be doing private business.
And custody of electoral materials.
And just before election. The law forbids him from doing private business. To even be in board of director of a private company. It's a serious matter.
Okay, but let me tell you something. Today is Emefiele. There were some that were never investigated. Nobody ever investigated Sanusi. Nobody ever investigated, I think it was Jim Obia, right? can't remember one of the
Soludo.
I think there was one before or after Soludo. Well, nobody ever investigated most of those people. Yeah. Most of the ministers, whoever investigated them. That's the truth. Because the one we are seeing today is Emefiele.
I'm saying the same thing.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that the rate of corruption is so bad.
Civil servants and politicians are richer than businessmen.
It's a wrong society.
You always said it.
I've always said
it. In a country where
politicians and civil servants are richer than businessmen, it's a wrong country.
If you retire as a permanent secretary, you talk about hotels, you talk about this,
so sad.
I mean, it's a sad case. And
we are going to find time to get into more details.
If you retire as a permanent secretary and you go back to your, you say it's only 1 hand and a half, your people will stone you. So the society too has not helped.
We have to get into how to, begin to fundamentally destroy this corruption that is destroying Nigeria. And it's so sad that even the law enforcement agents that should be curbing this are themselves also trying to be rich.
Let's not go into that.
Let's not go there today. I don't know who are the criminals inside today, so don't go there.
Let's not go there today.
So sad. It's all right. Thank you guys for being around. And thank you viewers for hanging around. This is Matters Arising. Until next time, bye.